Hiya. I just wanted to talk about a finding that I've discovered in the last couple of weeks that I wanted to share. So what I'm discovering is that consciousness can actually attach to other consciousness. And actually, so what I've been seeing, I'll talk about this lady. She came to me and she was like, I'm just angry all the time. I'm bloody angry and I don't know why. And so I said, okay. And I looked, and the first thing I saw was like a male consciousness was beating the crap out of a female consciousness. And I was like, oh God, that's not good. And I'm like looking at it and I'm like, oh, something's wrong. It's a bit weird. So I went and investigated, and the consciousness, her male consciousness, and there was a layer of another male consciousness over a light body. So when I followed this other layer, it actually led to another light body. And I went to that light body, and it was this other male light body was dealing with like demonic stuff, and not demonic, it's consciousness, it's synthetic energies. But I was just like, wow, who's this? And why are you attached to this lady? And this turned out to be an ex-partner, and he had attached 2 traumas, so much so he was basically living on her. So we detached him, and that was going through her traumas on her male light body and dealing with the traumas and removing the traumas so he couldn't attach anymore, and said bye-bye to him. And what it turned out in 3D life, she split up with her partner 2 years ago, but he was very, very manipulating and causing her lots of issues, and even though they weren't together, and on attaching to the trauma that they created together. So, for instance, when you go through trauma with somebody, you take on that person's consciousness. And the whole point is understanding the trauma so you can let that consciousness go. So when I help people with their trauma, it's releasing them from the person that's traumatized them, so they can let that go. And the same thing, I saw another lady, and she came to me and she was like, I've just got, an attachment and a nasty entity on me, and I'm getting these really nasty thoughts, and I went to see a healer and they detached it, and now it's come back and I don't know what to do. And so I looked in and I said, oh, it's same thing, your masculine energy is beating the crap out of your female energy. And I was like, oh, I can't see an entity, but I do see consciousness. And then I followed the consciousness, and it was another male light body, which turned out to be a family member that caused a lot of problems. It was quite an interesting story, actually. It was sexual abuse. So this lady suffered sexual abuse from a sibling, and you think sexual abuse the drive is like a sexual energy, but it wasn't. The young boy, he abused this girl, yeah, sexually, and it came from the loss of his mum. So he felt like this loss, he didn't feel the connection to his mother, and his mum was very crap at not very good at using her masculine energy, therefore he was unable to be disciplined. There was no discipline in the household. And because he wasn't disciplined by the mother, he felt this sense of loss. And then that sense of loss led him to what he was doing to his sister. And then she felt a sense of loss of her, growing up and then realising what had happened and what had taken place. She felt a sense of loss of her innocence and her feminine energy. And her trauma of that sense of loss and his sense of loss is what bounded them together. So the entity that she thought she had was her brother's consciousness. And he was he was torturing himself, plus he had lots of synthetic energies on him, and it was a mess. But detached him, and cleared her up of the trauma that she suffered. But yeah, all very interesting. So people can manipulate people and through their own consciousness and attach to our. Not only do we carry other people's consciousness through the trauma. When we go through trauma, we'll take on the other person's consciousness, a small bit of it, but then they can attach to it, to us, and their energy can overtake our energy, like an attachment, like an entity. So yeah, working through our trauma and understanding our trauma and you know, getting to a point of forgiveness and understanding is a way of not allowing this to happen. Yeah, I hope that helps. Okay, thanks for listening. Please subscribe if you want to subscribe, or share if you want to. Okay, you take care. Thanks. Bye.